Hi fans, my name is Drew Wall, but you may know me as Dr. D, hashtag Dr. Dvolsky. What I'm doing is a little continuation live with the BWF documentary, what Dre and Burning Ash started to do. You can see that at Darth1288. That's Burning Ash's hashtag and his documentary. And here's Dr. D's documentary. 40 easy questions, which I know you fans are trying to. I was trying to answer BY community. They're trying to get senses of everybody. Well, here's my take. What got me into professional wrestling? Nothing really got me in professional wrestling, as I was watching it at the early age. Yes, I'm maybe 26 years old, but I know what good solid wrestling was back in the day. Back in the day, the late 80s, I started watching the early 90s when I grew up professional wrestling. Guys like Hogan, Demolition, Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, British Bulldog, the Killer Bees, the Nasty Boys, Big Boss Man. Those were guys I liked back in the early days. And Bushwhackers, and there's all the Undertaker, and I still love some of the guys even now. That's what started me back in professional wrestling, watching it as a little kid. And it just never stopped. The dream I've always watched, I always tuned in on a Saturday whenever I could to watch professional wrestling. That's when I was on TV or the local, whatever I could get in my hands on the professional wrestling. It was usually at my grandparents'. I usually spent the majority of weekends, or the odd time I seen it at home, professional wrestling. That's how I watched it some of it later on in the mid-90s, WCW. And WCW was a good product. It was a better product than WWE Attitude Era. I have to give it credit. I loved WCW to death. I loved WWE to death, but it was the better product for majority. I agree with the saying of it. My WCW superstars that I loved: Raven, Goldberg, Sting, Billy Kidman, Perry Saturn, Eddie Guerrero, a little bit of it Guerrero, Benoit, Macho, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. There's a bunch of different guys. Public Enemy, they're only a tag team in there. Yeah. I'm sure there's other WCW guys that I haven't think of that I also like as well. But, moving on to another company that I also enjoyed watching in recently times is TNA. I started watching TNA wrestling back in the early days I'm back watching TNA, when I first started watching TNA was back when they had back in the Nashville era, and back when the X Division had the World Cup. Bring it back, boy. Bring it back. That's what I'd like to see. 3 companies going at it. They had Team TNA, Team New Mexico, and Team Japan. 3 promotions going after the World Cup. That was wrestling. TNA was on fire back in the Nashville days. My favorite TNA superstars: Raven, Rhino, Wildcat Chris Harris, James Storm, aka with them both together, America's Most Wanted, most dominant tag team in TNA. Then you got Pete likes of P.E. Williams, Black Machismo, Jay Lethal I liked, Elix Skipper, Crystal Daniels, AJ, Jeff Jarrett, Raven, Abyss, Samoa Joe, Sting, Christian, Kurt Angle. Who else? The top guys I missed. Steiner's. Scott Steiner. And yeah. I'll get on to the tag team a little bit later. Who I like for tag teams. But generally that's who I like. I'm going to go back to the WWE here. Go to the Attitude Era of WWE. I did watch some of that. Triple H was, well, when he formed DX, I didn't like when he first came to the company. Him and The Rock, I didn't really like. Later on, I started liking them. But Michaels, I was still a big fan of. Hart was still a big fan. Austin, I was never a fan of. And sorry, not a fan of Austin. No, not in the early days. Not in the early days. Shamrock, I was a big fan of. I like Shamrock. All the UFC days. UFC and him. Well, I like Shamrock. Anyways, ECW, I'm going to really quickly touch on that. Didn't watch any of it until the company died down and I got some DVDs, whatnot. I really love the ECW product. Again, I'm going to go quickly on these guys. I'll move on to different questions. ECW superstars I love: Tommy Dreamer, Raven, Rhino, Sandman, Terry Funk, Sabu, Rob Van Dam, the Eliminators, Public Enemy, the Gangsters, New Jack and Mustafa. If you don't know who the Gangsters are, the BWO, Stevie Richards, the Blue Meanie, Nova, and 911. The franchise Shane Douglas, I liked. The Pitbulls. Yeah. I'm going to go into another section that's not covered. The questions is tag teams. Here's the tag teams I loved. This is going through the WWE eras and WCW and ECW and TNA. Starting with WWE, Demolition, the Road Warriors, LOD, the Hart Foundation, not the Attitude Era Hart Foundation, the original ones, Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the Nasty Boys, the Bushwhackers, the Hulkamaniacs, that was Savage and Macho, the Mega Powers, and also Hogan and Bruce the Barber Beefcake. Let's see here. WCW, there wasn't really much a tag team I really liked. Let's go with the Hardy Boys, the Dudleys, Demolition, America's Most Wanted, Beer Money, the Team 3D, Team Canada. I liked it for some of them. Combinations were pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of tag teams I absolutely love and I still love to this day. And get quickly, what if any wrestling company that I watched before I got into backyard wrestling? What got me into backyard wrestling? Well, I hate to say it, if I didn't watch any backyard wrestling show before I joined backyard wrestling, and the person who brought me in was Nick McKinnon. Burning Ash brought me in after event last that we have here is in maybe other cities and countries. You do have an indie circuit. I watched when I did the event at Red Rock Wrestling, and Burning Ash says, "Would you like to join BWF?" And yeah, I'm taking off the glasses here. I do wear glasses. But yeah. And Nick sent me a clip, and I watched it over YouTube, and how long was I hooked? Did I even watch the full match? Nope. 2 seconds. That's all it took, and I was hooked. But I have watched some of the BWF BY community. I've watched some of the wrestling companies since I've joined. I've watched Super ETW, which I wasn't really a fan of. I hate the idea of trampoline wrestling. Don't get me wrong. We had our issues in December and whatnot of last year. But we since then made our differences, and you two guys took my advice. You changed the logo because it looks very similar to the ECW product, the ECW logo, which I love and still love to this day. I love hardcore wrestling, but another day, another time on that. Yeah, and WEC, I watched a little bit of it, and my favorite backyard wrestling promotion, other than BWF, I love our company, and I'd like to give the shout out to my favorite one, CCW boys. You're my favorite. Besides us, BWF, you're my favorite. So, Young Buck, Big Buck, whatever, I'll send you all the shout outs all you like. Very good in contact with you guys, so keep it up, and I hope you give a shout out to me in one of your next upcoming videos when you return. Yeah, what favorite move I like to do? Well, I did like at one point in time doing the Taz mission, the Continental May, but now it's the Needle Shooter. I'm going to my roots, the Bret the Hitman Hart. I absolutely love Hitman, and I get that adrenaline, that rush, and putting the pressure on your back, in your legs, and your willingness to put in the drive of the Needle Shooter, hitting you up, and just making you submit. Now, and other than that, the DDT. Obviously, I love it. Also, DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts, I absolutely love. Now I'm bringing in the Gulf here. Now, moving on. I know there's no talk about divas, but I know the questions don't really ever cross divas, but I'm adding it in. My divas, simple: Mickie James, Lita, Trish, Sunny, Sable, Terry Runnels, Tori Wilson, Francine. Yeah, pretty much sums it up. Victoria, there's couple other either Taylor Wilde, there's other couple divas, but those are the main ones I absolutely love to death. Anyways, what other questions were there? Well, my accomplishments. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Let's see here, my accomplishments to date in the BWF. Let's see. Let's start off with the first ever Resurrection style match winner. The first ever Extreme Champion, one-time Extreme Champion. 3 or 4 or 5-time Tag Team Champion. A one-time BWF World Heavyweight Champion, which I held this year. Thank you, J. Rye. That I took credited that. Yeah, if it wasn't for you, J. Rye, I wouldn't hold the title. Yeah, I dedicated my title run to you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be champion. I would have been stuck to BWF title this year. And getting that 2-time BWF champion. Yeah, and there's a lot of things in my accomplishments, but what's the goals for 2014? BWF fans? To capture the TV title. If it's in the cards. That's my goal. Next year is a TV title. That's my goal. Become the Grand Slam champion. That's my goal for 2014. If you fans have any questions about Dr. D or whatnot, I'm more than happy to sit down. If anybody wants to ask me questions or whatnot, feel free to contact me anyway. Leave me a comment, or if you want, guys, I'm free on Facebook. You can add me on Facebook. I'll answer your questions. If anybody is in the backyard wrestling community, I know if you want a sit-down interview with Dr. D, I'm more than happy to have a sit-down interview over Skype. If you want, I'm available. Just let me know, and I'll try my best to accommodate you. Best tag team partner to date is Rick Savage. That's my best tag team partner. Best. Sorry, AJ, you don't make the grade. You did for a while, but you turned on me, so it cost me my BWF World Title match at Mania. So I would give the props to you, but I had to go with Rick. Go with Rick. So with that, BWF community, I hope you enjoyed my presentation of my half of the documentary. And like I said, keep on watching the BWF and other promotions. Peace.